Hey y'all, welcome back to the Misfit Mama. It's me, Heather, your guide to authentic motherhood and homemaking. In this video, I've got the full episode of Whose Wedding Is It Anyway that my wedding was on. I just talked about that in the last video that I posted, which was my reaction to watching the video. You can check that out with a link in the card and in the description below. Without further ado, I'm just gonna give you the video of the episode. Here we go.
Coming up, a bride who can't get enough of her planner.
I fell in love with Samantha Goldberg. She's like a soulmate to me.
I have no comment on that.
And another bride who wants everything done for her.
I don't know all the little details, and that's fine with me.
I just wish Heather would just make one damn decision.
Will clashing personalities produce fabulous weddings or just hard feelings?
I said to her, look, I don't care if you don't want to be involved in any other aspect of this.
I'm getting married in a couple hours. I still haven't spoken to my wedding planner. She should be giving me some information.
Find out next on Whose Wedding Is It Anyway?
You only have this one day to express yourself.
How much per person?
And some of these brides, I mean, especially the wacky ones, will call you like 12 times a day.
Just keep my mother away from me.
They want to talk about things like a shade of peach.
No. This is not what I ordered.
I know. I will fix it.
New Jersey wedding planner Samantha Goldberg's head is spinning. Why? She's been planning a wedding for 75 guests for Rhonda Schaefer and Gerard Moore, and the bride just changed the date from 6 months to 3 weeks away.
I'm not really sure what my role is right now with being 3 weeks away, and I don't have any idea what I'm doing. Trying to do all this in a short period of time, I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm human.
What's worse is that the bride is obsessing, but not over the wedding, over the planner herself.
I don't know why I have to have Samantha. I think I just have to have her at the wedding.
My mother would come in my room at 6 a.m. and wake me up and put the Whose Wedding Is It Anyway show on TV and make me watch them.
That's not something I'm used to when I work with clients. I try to keep it professional, and it's been very challenging.
Rhonda met Gerard 6 years ago when she interviewed him for a job as an ambulance dispatcher. But you might say Rhonda had a different position in mind for Gerard.
I noticed she was like checking me out, you know. Her eyes was rolling around a little bit, and we started talking casually, off and on, and it just progressed slowly. We went to keep it secret, you know, boss and employee relation, you know, we remained professional at work, and on our off times, you know, we enjoyed each other's company.
And if this employer-employee love affair needs another twist, how about a slight age difference?
I am 20 years older than Gerard.
That's right, Rhonda and Gerard are 2 decades apart.
Gerard's actually closer to my children's age than my age, which is a little awkward at times.
It was initially, I thought it would be a fling, you know, I'm dating the chief, you know, this is just going to be a little one-time thing.
But the relationship everyone thought would be just a fling bloomed into a storybook romance.
He is probably the only guy who's ever made me feel safe and that I'll be taken care of.
We balance each other out, you know, it flows, it works.
But when the couple moved in together in 2004, things really got weird.
My daughter Jamie is actually dating one of Gerard's very good friends. We do go on double dates, but I still feel like the mom.
It's weird when my mother puts it into a perspective that should my boyfriend and I get married, his best friend will be his father-in-law.
After 5 years together, Gerard finally decided to pop the question, and the way it happened seems to be open to debate.
I don't remember all the specific details, but all I remember him saying is like, here, and he held out a box.
Here.
And said, would you marry me? And I just started laughing. I was like, yeah, sure, come on, let's go, we're going to be late.
That's tacky.
And that's how I remember it, but we all have our different stories.
That's not right. We started a night at our favorite restaurant in town here, and I started getting nervous, and I started sweating. And she's like, "Are you okay?" You know, she noticed something was up. I punked out inside the restaurant. I was nervous. I was scared. So as we were walking to the car, I got opened the door for her, sat her down, got in, and then that's when I pulled the ring out, and then I opened it up, and I think she just looked at the ring and didn't even care what I was saying after that because she just focused on the ring. So and she took a while there to say yes when she said it.
I have married twice before. I really didn't think I was going to get married again, but he changed my mind.
And even though Rhonda has 2 previous weddings under her belt, they decided to throw a big spring bash.
I just thought it was very important for him to have the whole traditional big wedding and to have the big party with his friends.
Gerard's mother, Pat, stepped right into the role of wedding planner with a lot of opinions to offer.
Have you given the DJ a list of what you want to play? Hopefully we're not going to have this rap stuff, bebop and stuff.
No, there won't be any rap.
Thank you. I'm giving my child away.
No. No.
The girl gets given away. You don't give away your son.
He is the biggest mommy's boy. They talk probably 10 times a day. First thing in the morning, last thing at night. We could be laying in bed and mommy's calling. And it's nice that their family's so connected. But it does get annoying.
Gerard's mom is in for a rude awakening because Rhonda wants to put her wedding in the hands of a pro.
Why would you guys want a wedding planner? I think it was a waste of money.
I used to watch these weddings anyway, all the time, and fell in love with Samantha Goldberg.
Rhonda contacted me from watching me on television, and she was looking for an April of 2008 wedding, which I had available at the time. So I met her, and that's where we began.
She's like a soulmate to me.
I've heard from some people a couple times that she's referred to me as being her soulmate. I don't know what part of me would have given her the indication that we were soulmates. We don't have anything in common at all.
Ron is very adamant about this planner.
His mom and dad are paying for the reception, and she would like to be involved in the choosing of the food and the decorations. And I'm listening to her options, and Samantha and I will do what we want to do.
In Clifton, New Jersey, wedding planner Jenny Orsini is working with a bride who's decided to be completely hands-off when it comes to her big day.
I would definitely say that Heather is one of the least involved brides I've ever dealt with. I don't feel the need to go over all the details. I know somebody needs to, but I don't feel like it needs to be me.
And how does Jenny feel about that?
It has not made the planning process difficult, but it has made it different.
Luckily, she's found a helping hand.
I'm Michelle, and I'm Heather's mom, and I'm the other wedding planner along with Jenny Orsini.
I often deal with very involved moms, but this is probably the most involved mom that I've ever dealt with.
That's good because Heather's happy to be a guest at her own wedding. She couldn't be bothered with the details.
I'm just gonna be there. I don't feel bad about it all.
In November of 2004, while at a sorority party, a handsome stranger caught Heather's eye.
I saw him as soon as he walked in, so I called dibs on him and told my friends that he was mine.
An international student from Nigeria, Wari Amalaha, noticed Heather too.
I saw Heather walk into the room, and the minute I saw her, basically, I was just like, I have to get that girl.
He was really hot. I gave him my number, whatever. Weekend after that, we went out to a club, but I was getting ready to go abroad to Florence, so I wasn't looking for any kind of relationship or anything.
So she left. She went abroad for like 3 months.
Although they weren't dating at the time, Wari thought about Heather every day while she was in Europe, and one afternoon, he got a surprise.
Well, she actually called me from Florence, which was, which was really interesting. I was like, yes, I just decided then and there that, that's my girl.
And when Heather got home, they were inseparable.
We just started hanging out all the time, from there.
2 months later, I decided, let's make it serious. I decided to, ask her if we could make this relationship go farther.
Heather agreed, and that decision led to something neither of them expected. They found out they were pregnant.
It was a definite shock. I cried a lot.
But once the disbelief had passed, Heather and Wari decided they were in the relationship for the long haul, and they geared up for parenthood. 9 months later, their daughter Adana was born.
Good job, big face.
6 months after that, Worry decided it was time to pop the question.
It's a Nigerian tradition for the groom to go talk to the bride's family.
He had taken his responsibilities very seriously and was doing all he needed to do, demonstrated to us that he could be a good husband.
Heather's mom was so excited, she ruined Worry's surprise.
The minute Heather walked through the door, her mom was like, oh, we have something to celebrate.
She's like, Worry talked to your dad. And I was like, okay, I know that's code for he talked to my dad about getting married.
Worry didn't even get a chance to formally propose. He just handed Heather the ring, and it was a done deal.
From then on, we pretty much started planning the wedding.
Because Worry's parents live in Nigeria, it'll be difficult for them to make it to the New Jersey wedding. But he does have one family member who will make the long trip, and she'll have a very important role on wedding day.
His sister, Kachi, will be there, and she will bring Adana down the aisle.
With 2 full-time jobs and a huge chunk of their time spent taking care of Adana, Heather and Worry aren't interested in planning the wedding. They've left that formality to Heather's mom and superstar wedding planner, Jenny Orsini.
They contacted me 5 months before the wedding. They didn't have any of their vendors booked.
So Jenny's made up for lost time by spending up a storm.
The budget is close to $85,000 or $90,000. If you ask Heather, she'll tell you the budget's $60,000, but Heather doesn't really know what the budget is.
I don't know all the little details, and that's fine with me. I don't feel bad that my mom's doing it. Jenny is great. They can take care of it.
And what about the groom?
I'm just going with the flow. I'm going to be there. Definitely be there.
We'll both show up that day. I mean...
Yeah.
Other than the fact that they will be present for the ceremony, there's only one thing the bride's sure of.
Fabulous. It needs to look fabulous.
Coming up, Jenny finds out fast that she'll be making all of the decisions for her bride.
We were at the walkthrough, and Heather's just like, okay, that's a great idea. I guess I'll just get married.
And a change in plans keeps Sam guessing.
The budget's a lot smaller, pretty much cut in half from what we originally had.
I'm kind of just saving the wedding. I'm not planning the wedding.
Next on Whose Wedding Is It Anyway? Nine months before Rhonda and Gerard's spring wedding, they fell on hard times. Suddenly, all of the plans for their big day were up in the air.
We had managed to save money for the wedding, and then I had lost my job and I was out of work for another 6 months. So the money that we had saved for the wedding, we had gone through.
Rhonda eventually found a new job as a postal worker, but they still had to abandon their plans for a big April affair. So they decided to move their date up and have an intimate winter wedding.
There are some financial reasons and some medical reasons that we're moving it up, and it's a smaller wedding. The budget's a lot smaller, pretty much cut in half from what we originally had.
The new date was just 3 weeks away, and Samantha Goldberg's biggest fan had to spring the news on her favorite planner.
I emailed Sam and told her we were getting married December 1st. I didn't even call her. I guess I was scared to talk to her.
You're never going to believe this.
Wait, what's going on?
Do you know our bride for next year in April, Rhonda Schaefer?
Yeah.
She's canceling her wedding, but she's moving it up. And she's moving it up to guess what day?
When?
My birthday. So the wedding was supposed to be in 6 months, and now it's going to be in 3 weeks.
That's insane.
That's caused a lot of issues, not only just because it's my birthday, but it's also during the busiest time of the year for me.
To make matters worse, Sam was going out of town right after Rhonda dropped her bomb, so the bride needed to pick new venues on her own. And when Sam returned from her trip, she wasn't happy with the update.
She's getting married in the Knights of Columbus Hall, which probably has fluorescent lighting. If I were going to do this on my own and have time to do it, I would do anything just to make it look a lot more glamorous and not look like the amount of money that's being spent, which is basically nothing.
In Clifton, the venue is a bit more upscale. And Jenny Orsini's got her hands full trying to pull off a fabulous ceremony and reception for an indifferent bride.
It's great to meet you, Mr. Davidson. Well, I think it's important to meet the man that's writing the checks, that's funding this beautiful event. So
Although she's content to let Jenny and her mother handle all of the decisions, the bride has actually decided to show up for the walkthrough. But with her wedding only a week away, has she waited too long to get involved?
All right, so are we ready to start talking about this big wedding?
Absolutely. Let's go through a little tour.
There's a lot to go over because Heather's wedding is a big to-do that will take up 3 different rooms. One for receiving the guests, another to accommodate the ceremony, and a third that will house the reception.
How are you coming into the room?
Oh, yeah.
That staircase screams bride. Yeah, that gives a really dramatic entrance. Everything, attention's on you as you come down that staircase.
This is the first time that Jenny's had any interaction with the bride, so she's using the opportunity to make sure Heather's up to speed.
You're going to get married on Sunday at a place called the Palace in Somerset.
No way!
Laurie, I hear he's a really nice guy, and you have a baby. Michelle Davidson and Jenny Orsini are planning your wedding. And loving every minute of it.
So just show up.
We'll handle everything else.
Excellent. Quite honestly, I don't know why Heather's not interested in planning the wedding. I think she's not necessarily a detail-oriented person.
Jenny spent so much time obsessing over this wedding for Heather, you might think she's the one tying the knot.
So I'm thinking at 4 o'clock, I think we were going to do, I would think, yes, I'll let you choose which one. In terms of the processional for the ceremony, they're not walking in with their counterparts. So we were at the walkthrough and I'm sitting there and it's like Heather's in between her mother and I. And I'm like talking to Michelle. Michelle's answering my questions. Michelle's asking me questions. I'm answering her questions. And Heather's just looking back and forth like a tennis match. And she's like, okay, that's a great idea. Okay, that's a great idea. Great job, Mom. Great job, Jen. I guess I'll just get married. And I said, all you have to do is show up. I'm sure there's like this little part of Michelle that's like, oh God, I just wish Heather would just make one damn decision, you know? Oh, those are the colors.
Ooh, that's a nice combination.
Yeah, really nice. These are very similar to the color linens we're using, and then the gold accents, and then champagne as well. Did I tell you that we're doing purple and gold? Didn't know at all.
Jenny's figured out the procession order, selected the decor. She even chose the color scheme for the reception. What else could she possibly take care of for the bride?
Who's watching Adana? I would prefer I do it, honestly. Okay.
Samantha Goldberg has her own issues to deal with, as her bride has moved the wedding up by 6 months. And if that's not enough, Rhonda also happens to be obsessed with her planner.
This started right during the initial process of when we started working together. She was contacting me a lot, saying that she misses talking to me. We could talk about it tomorrow. Hi, Rhonda. Has twinkle lights? Hi, Rhonda.
Are you going to be here Friday?
Yeah.
Can you stay here with me?
We could talk about it.
Oh, that would be so much fun. We would have so much fun. Oh my God, we could stay up all night.
Meanwhile, in Princeton, New Jersey, putting together a fabulous wedding has put Michelle and her husband in the red.
Hey, Michelle, it's Jenny. Hey, I got your email about cutting some things from the budget.
In order to pull off the fabulous wedding that Heather requested,
fabulous,
Michelle's looking to Jenny to cut costs wherever she can.
I just want to keep you aware that if we cut from certain places, it could really, compromise the integrity of the wedding design. So we can, cut a little bit on the flowers and we could practice some recycling. Whatever we use in the ceremony, we can try and also reuse at the reception. No, I absolutely understand. I'm really sorry your husband had a coronary about the budget. These things happen and we just fixed the problem.
Coming up, how does Heather's mom feel about her daughter's lack of involvement?
I think Michelle might feel like, can I get a break? Can you do a little something for me?
And with the ceremony only days away, has Sam finally gone too far?
Leave it to Sam to make me cry.
Find out next on Whose Wedding Is It Anyway? Rhonda and Gerard's wedding is less than a week away, and the bride needs her planner to take a look at the new reception venue. But it looks like the walkthrough won't be happening today.
Hi, Sam. How are you?
I'm not so good. Something came up last night with my daughter. Unfortunately, we had to bring her to the hospital because she's got some kind of mucky stuff going on in her chest. So I've been up with her since 3 in the morning. But I wanted to give you a call because I'm a little bit concerned. You know, a couple days away from your wedding, and I'm not going to be able to make it out of here. And I hope you understand that.
I do. I feel really bad for your daughter. I'm so sad. I have so much we need to do.
I know. But it's going to get done. I promise you. Okay?
All right. I hope your daughter feels better soon.
Thank you.
My daughter getting very sick, having to be hospitalized. There was no way that I could make it there.
All right, I'm getting myself together. Leave it to Sam to make me cry.
But it's not only Sam's absence that's tearing Rhonda apart just days before her wedding. Her own parents won't be able to be there.
I just want my parents to be here. I pretty much always knew my father wasn't going to make it up because he has a heart condition and can't fly. My mom was coming maybe a week and a half ago. She called me and said that she wasn't able to make it. And it's just upsetting. But I can't be mad at either one of them because they both have really good reasons for not being able to be here.
Meanwhile, in Princeton, it's the moment that every bride dreams about, the day she'll pick up her wedding gown. But Heather's at home with Rory and Adana, leaving it to her mom to get the job done.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Okay.
Bridesmaids and your dress.
Yeah, beautiful.
Great.
I'm a happy girl.
Great.
Thank you, Ivy.
Let me help you to the car.
All right, great.
I think Michelle might feel like I am throwing this wedding for you, and I'm doing everything for you. Can I get a break? Can you do a little something for me?
After a long night, Samantha Goldberg and her husband have just brought their daughter Sydney home from the hospital. So right now, that's the planner's main focus. And on the other end of the state, Rhonda and Gerard are dealing with a family health crisis of their own. 2 weeks before the wedding, Gerard's father was seriously injured on the job. Now, they're not sure if he can come to the wedding.
He's a communications worker, so he was up on the communications tower, and he was in an awkward position and tried to reposition himself, and his safety harness gave way, and he was up about 40, 50 feet in the air. He dropped about 20, and then the safety mechanism caught actually and stopped him. Well, actually, when he fell, he broke his femur. So now we don't know if he's going to be able to make it or not. I know he was in severe pain, couldn't walk.
So with the wedding a few days away, the couple is checking in with Dad to see how he's coming along and if he'll be able to take part in their celebration.
Are you going to fit in your tux, or what you doing, sweats?
I don't believe so. I don't think I have no problem.
No?
You'll be able to dance?
Went down that good?
Yeah, the swing went down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna be able to dance?
I don't know about all
How
that.
about in a wheelchair? You can like push him out.
That'll work.
You can have that first dance with Rhonda.
In Garwood, New Jersey, Heather is still busy with everything but her wedding. So for Jenny Orsini, that just means more work to do.
So it's the day before the wedding, and I have Kristen, one of my favorite stationers, coming by to drop off all of the wedding day stationery. And then I have a meeting with Linda. She's the floral designer for this event. Then I get to venture to my favorite chocolatier and pick up all the chocolate favor boxes. It's a busy day, but we're going to get it all done. Oh, gorgeous! Oh, Kristen, you did such a great job. Look at those cute little tags. Really great way to personalize your wedding. When Michelle was trying to cut costs, she was thinking of using the Palace's menu cards. Right. And I was like, no, this is what guests are going to be like seeing the minute they sit down. I think it's so important to just give them that wow factor.
Rhonda and Gerard are tying the knot in just 2 days, and Samantha is trying to pull together everything she can to give the budget bride a wedding she can be proud of.
So this is the centerpiece that we're going to use for Rhonda and Gerard's wedding. Originally, she was going to go with a Christmas theme, and I didn't really get a chance to see what the Christmas theme was all about.
Well, this looks wintry.
I think so too. I think it does. It has a lot of gold, and I know she likes gold. It has creams. When I asked her about the chairs, she said they're blue. And I was like, blue? And she goes, yeah, they have a blue cushion. I can tell you already I don't like the blue chairs, but this is not my wedding. So aesthetically, I'm putting this together for her. And if it looks crummy, she's going to put all fingers on me, and that's not going to be a good thing. I think the worst part for me is that she still owes me quite a significant balance, and I don't even know how to ask her for that. She doesn't even have enough money to pay for the things that she wants for her wedding.
Sam doesn't seem to be dealing too well with the last-minute stress of this wedding, so her assistant Carla is trying to talk her down off the ledge.
You always pull it off, it always happens, and it's never a problem in the end. Don't worry.
And what about our other New Jersey wedding? Heather and Wari are tying the knot tomorrow, and Jenny is pulling everything together without their input.
Oh my gosh, so much purple.
While Jenny approves the place settings and makes sure that the purple and gold arrangements are spectacular, Heather and Wari enjoy cocktails at their country club. Has it occurred to them that maybe it's time to be a bit more proactive?
All of my bridesmaids think I'm nuts for not being like super involved, but you know, I just think that it's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fabulous, man. I never said that word fabulous, but it's gonna be awesome, man.
There's nothing else that can describe it.
Yeah.
It's just fabulous.
They know they need to show up, and that's what they'll do.
And 5,000 miles from his homeland of Nigeria, Wari's thoughts are on his sister Kachi, who will accompany his daughter down the aisle. If all goes well, she'll arrive tomorrow morning, only hours before the ceremony.
Yeah, I just love the fact that she's going to be part of it. You know? Yeah, especially because most of my family's not here. It's just great to have her, there.
Well, everyone, Michelle and I would like to thank you for being here. This is a very special time for us, and we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow.
It's the day before Rhonda and Gerard walk down the aisle, and Sam is finally meeting up with the couple at their venue, a Knights of Columbus Hall in Turnersville, New Jersey.
How are you?
What's up? How are you?
So this is it.
This is it.
I'm going to have one last try tomorrow. There may be a rental company if you really are against the blue chairs. I
can live with them.
You can live with them? Okay.
Yeah.
I just asked you a question. Maybe I could stop off at like a dollar store or something and pick up some votives for the bar area that I could light up, maybe, if you want.
Sure.
Sam is not impressed with the space, and the former planner, Gerard's mother, Pat, doesn't seem impressed with Sam.
Okay, got a question.
Yes.
Did I understand you to say that table just for the family? Whose family?
Your family.
No. You know what? I want to mix. I don't want.
I know.
And let's be realistic. Anybody knows that most people gravitate towards the bar in any given setting, so I highly doubt everyone's going to be sitting down.
There's not enough chairs for everybody anyway.
Right.
And Mom's adding a flourish of her own to the wedding. A pink punch fountain. In Clifton, Jenny's had a long day doing all of the work for Heather. But before she can head home, she must heed the call of her sweet tooth.
We are at Shop Donna, which is my one and only chocolatier vendor. I'm here to pick up about 180 little boxes of hazelnut truffles. We're giving them out as favors at the Davidson wedding. And I'm a big fan of giving away favors that are edible. People want something they can either enjoy in their house or enjoy in their belly. Did you give her the truffle? I did.
These delicious chocolate favors may be the only part of the wedding the bride actually had a hand in.
She likes the hazelnut, so we got her the hazelnut truffle.
And on the bottom is going to have the 2 solid chocolates for her. Oh my gosh, she does love hazelnut. You know, I told you Heather's hasn't really been too involved in the wedding planning, and I've been basically doing it with her mom. But the one thing she was really specific about, I said to her, look, I don't care if you don't want to be involved in any other aspect of this. I said, but what is your favorite type of chocolate candy? And she goes, I love hazelnut. I'm like, done. Done.
It's the morning of Rhonda and Gerard's big day, and it looks like the bride's feelings about her fantasy planner have seriously shifted.
In the past, I've seen her with the brides while they're getting their hair done and while they're getting dressed and everything else, and, I thought that she'd be here. I don't think it's going away. I wanted it to go, but the bottom line is we're getting married, and that's what's important.
Now, had they let my girlfriend and I did this thing, they wouldn't have had that problem. We told them the entire time. We said we could take care of it. And Rhonda would say, oh, I have a wedding planner.
Meanwhile, Gerard and his groomsmen are getting spiffy in their tuxes, and they've already started partying.
I'm feeling a little jittery, but I'm going to get through it, I hope. You know how we do it. Palms a little sweaty, but I'm getting there. Hopefully a couple hours from now, I'll be a married man. Wow, married man. Never thought about that one.
One thing everyone's relieved about is that Gerard's father is there by his son's side.
The leg could be a lot better, but it's my son's wedding, so I'm going to suck it up and make the best out of the day.
In Clifton, the big day has finally arrived. It's now time for Heather to take part in her wedding, and she'll start with a trip to the salon.
I feel like maybe I should be nervous, but I'm really not.
Maybe that's because Michelle and Jenny are still doing the heavy lifting for her.
Make sure you talk with Jenny, because Jenny has all the info on that.
And with only 4 hours to go until the I-dos, Jenny has a lot to accomplish at the palace if Heather's wedding is going to look fabulous.
Love my flowers. Look at all this. This is what a wedding looks like before you arrive as a guest. It all looks kind of messy now, but the end result is going to be fabulous.
It looks like the flowers are under control, but Jenny's not out of the woods yet. There's a major problem involving the band.
The morning actually has not gone off without a hitch. The band that the mother hired from Canada, they needed equipment. And long story short, they're having sound, they're not having lighting. So, because they forgot to put it on the order, and they needed lighting. Fortunately, my lighting guy was here because we're doing event lighting for the perimeter of the room, and he was able to kind of pitch in and drove like 40 miles back to his warehouse. He's picking up some stage lighting, bringing it back, and problem is fixed. Crisis averted.
Although the show will go on, this fix isn't without a cost, and the recently slashed wedding budget just went back up. The father of the bride doesn't look pleased. Coming up, someone drops a bombshell on the groom.
That was very sad. It was a weird feeling, and I've not really felt like that before.
Will it ruin his wedding day? And
today's her birthday.
Does Sam's personal life interfere with the bride's bliss?
People telling me she's been calling my phone, but she didn't leave me a voicemail. So, no, I haven't spoken to Sam.
Next on Whose Wedding Is It Anyway? It's only 2 hours till Rhonda walks down the aisle, and she still hasn't heard from her wedding planner, Sam.
People telling me she's been calling my phone, but she didn't leave me a voicemail. So, no, I haven't spoken to Sam.
Maybe that's because Sam has a busy day ahead of her.
So right now I'm heading over to the reception site to decorate. Since there's only 5 tables, I'm going to be doing it on my own. And today's her birthday. I really wish that we could have waited until April for her wedding, because I'm telling you, she would have had a spectacular wedding. with all the things that we were talking about. So I'm trying to do the best that I can to make sure that it's a good day for the both of them. And here we are at the Knights of Columbus. I don't think I've ever had a wedding at the Knights of Columbus before. I've had a wedding at the Elk Club, but never at the Knights of Columbus.
Sam's had a tough time putting this wedding together because the scaled-down budget had to cover the cake, drinks, linens, and table decor. And with time running short, she still needs to make a quick trip to the dollar store for some final decorations.
So the wedding is in 1 hour. I've got to get the hell out of here. I've got to finish decorating this room. Goodbye.
Back in Clifton, in 2 hours, Heather and Wari will meet at the altar. But because they've arrived at the venue early, it'll be up to Jenny to keep them from meeting in the parking lot.
This is not cool. Only my luck. You and your bride-to-be literally arrived at the same time. So can you do me a favor and unpark and park right there and face the other direction? And you have to keep your eyes closed for the next 2 minutes. All right, we're good. In my gazillion years of doing this, I've never had a bride and a groom arrive at the reception facility at the exact same time. Give me a hug. Wari has not seen you. He's literally driving around with his eyes closed. Go ahead.
Once the bride is safe from the groom's prying eyes, Jenny's off to check on a wedding day surprise from the florist.
We're using Adana as a major part of the processional, and because she's still just a little baby, she can't actually walk down the aisle, so she's being escorted. She's actually being pulled. My floral designer totally said she was going to surprise me and deck out this little carriage thing, and I'm finally getting the reveal right now. Oh my God, how cute. Look at the bells!
Silver bells.
Come on, look at this.
And it even has a customized seat belt.
Oh my God, it's so Paris Hilton. So it's going to be like
in
this.
the trunk of the buggy.
You're going to have an infant in here, and then the groom's sister is totally going to push her down the aisle.
It appears that Heather and Wari's daughter will be riding down the aisle in style. But unfortunately, the groom has just received some bad news about Adana's escort.
My sister called me and told me she wasn't going to be able to make it. That was very sad, you know. It was a weird feeling, and I've not really felt like that before.
Sadly, Wari's sister had a passport issue and hasn't even left Africa yet. Now the groom will have no family members in attendance, and someone else will have to push his little girl down the aisle. Even though her wedding is only 30 minutes away and she still hasn't seen Sam, Rhonda can't wait around. She's got an appointment with Gerard she's not about to miss.
I, Gerard, take you, Rhonda.
I, Gerard, take you, Rhonda.
To be my wife and companion all my days.
To be my wife and companion all my days.
My commitment is made in love.
My commitment is made in love.
Kept in faith.
Kept in faith.
Lived in hope.
Lived in hope.
And eternally made anew.
And eternally made anew.
Gerard, today I become your wife.
Gerard, today I become your wife.
And you my husband.
And you my husband.
I promise to love you in good times and in bad.
I promise to love you in good times and in bad.
With all that I have to give.
With all that I have to give.
And all that I am.
And all that I am.
I now have the privilege to announce that Gerard and Rhonda are indeed husband and wife. Gerard, you may kiss your bride.
Meanwhile, at the palace, it's 15 minutes and counting until the ceremony begins. And it seems that Wari is taking his sister's absence in stride.
I'm feeling better, I'll say.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you're doing. Yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful thing.
While Wari and his groomsmen act like Nigerian royalty, upstairs, Heather changes into her wedding gown, and she's ready for her first look at what her mother and Jenny have created for her.
And I know it's going to look fabulous, so I'm excited.
The guests have filed into their seats, and a replacement has been found to push the baby down the aisle. Now it's time for the absentee bride and her groom to make their grand entrance.
worry, Amalaha. Take Heather Davidson to be your wife.
I do.
Amen. Do you, Heather Davidson, take worry, Amalaha, to be your husband?
I do.
We can hear you.
I do.
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a pledge of my love
as a pledge of my love
and as a symbol of our unity.
and as a symbol of our unity.
And with this ring,
And with this ring,
I thee wed.
I thee wed.
And with this ring,
And with this ring,
I thee wed.
I thee wed.
Having taken your vow, you have made a commitment to stand together as husband and wife. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to you Mr. and Mrs. Amalaha. You may kiss the bride.
Oh, I feel great.
Incredibly happy.
Fabulous. It was great. It was wonderful.
Coming up, after being anything but helpful, is Heather happy with the end result?
Heather hasn't seen it yet, and I think she's going to walk in and she's going to be absolutely floored.
And will this wedding leave Sam with mixed emotions?
This sucks with a capital S.
Find out next on Whose Wedding Is It Anyway? In Princeton, it's a mad dash to the finish.
Just regular votive candles in like ivory or white. Do you have them?
I think the only ones we have are like red or something like that.
I would take red if you have them. I'll take anything.
That's 9. That's perfect.
Much to her dismay, when Sam returns to the Knights of Columbus Hall, she's not the only one there.
And look, there's a lot of guests that have arrived already. This sucks with a capital S.
And she still hasn't finished decorating the room.
Perfect. Fine.
Finally, the couple arrives, and the celebration can really begin. And even if he can't cut a rug the way he'd like to, Gerard's dad is still having a blast. And for the mama's boy groom, the mother and son dance turns into an emotional moment. The couple's new beginning is also the end of their rocky relationship with their planner.
I'm not gonna miss getting phone calls 10 times a day. No, I'm not. I guarantee Rhonda will be calling me after the wedding, probably to talk about it, which most brides do, but I'm not gonna miss all the calls.
Thanks for coming on your birthday. I know I was a pain in the ass last minute.
Well, you were a pain in the ass myself.
Now Sam's got another party to get to.
Tonight I'm leaving early because it's my birthday, and I am going to celebrate to death.
For the bride who began this wedding obsessed with her planner, the experience was less than she had hoped for.
I've seen Sam do a whole lot more.
Rhonda may have expected more from her planner, but overall, she's happy with the outcome.
This has been the best experience in my life. And I took him away from his mommy.
Back at the palace, Jenny's ready to reveal the ballroom to the bride. And since Heather wasn't concerned with the planning, Jenny's hoping she thinks it's absolutely fabulous.
Wow. This is fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. I think when Heather walked into that room, she was absolutely like in awe. She was totally impressed, and she loved it. Her eyes were like, oh my God, this is beautiful. I don't even know what to say right now.
Do you love it?
I love it. It's perfect.
Now it's time for all of Jenny and Michelle's hard work to pay off. It's time to party. As the evening winds down, Jenny and Michelle count the day as a major success.
It's been my full-time job for 5 months. Yes.
You did well, baby.
He didn't quite understand all the comings and goings, but he held up pretty well.
You did well.
Yeah,
you
thank
did
you.
well. It was a lot of money, but well spent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Today was actually really wonderful, quite perfect. I mean, we had our snafus this morning, but the worst tragedy of the day was, I lost Adonis pacifier. Like the worst casualty of the day.
And for Heather, she got the one thing she asked for.
It was beyond fabulous. I don't know what word is better than fabulous, but it was fabulous.
Both couples appearing on the show receive a complimentary 3-night stay at the Jolly Beach Resort, an all-inclusive resort located on the Caribbean island of Antigua.